I really appreciate your interest in the Michigan Moves Coalition. I'd like to take a couple minutes to tell you more about the coalition, as well as the role of a sector committee member in the coalition. To start, looking at the coalition broadly, we're comprised of over 50 organizations in the state of Michigan in all different societal sectors. At the Michigan Moves Coalition, we truly take a whole of society approach to improving physical activity. You can see some of the organizations on the screen here. You'll notice we have state agencies like the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, as well as the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. We have large health systems and other community-based organizations that are a part of the coalition. This is a coalition that seems to be growing by the day and by the week. So hopefully as time goes on, we can really populate this coalition with the top organizations of the state to move the needle on physical activity. Now, we're here because the physical activity community is siloed in the state, and there really is no evidence-based plan to address physical activity in the state of Michigan. And that's really what we're here to address. The Michigan Moves Coalition is designed to bring the physical activity community together in one collaborative organization to develop and implement an evidence-based plan to increase physical activity levels in the state. And indeed, we have the goal to make Michigan the most physically active state in the country. And I think the mechanism through which we can do that is this coalition. Now, the coalition plays many different roles. Certainly, we play the role of a convener, and that's we're bringing everyone together to develop this physical activity plan for the state. So that's our planning role. Moving beyond convening and planning, we will also be advocating for policy and systems changes that improves physical activity in the state. We'll also be helping with funding, implementation, and evaluation of community-based physical activity programs that are in alignment with the Michigan Physical Activity Plan. And that's where I want to spend the most of the rest of our time in this conversation, is understanding the plan and what your role could potentially be in it. So the Michigan Physical Activity Plan is a collaboration between the Michigan Moves Coalition and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. So this is a plan that's being developed with government, but not within government, to ensure we have some agility and some latitude to be flexible to be able to implement this plan at the community level. And essentially what we're doing here is we're taking the National Physical Activity Plan, which is a document that exists at the federal level. It's housed at the Physical Activity Alliance, but it's a collaboration between the Physical Activity Alliance, which is a national physical activity organization, and the Department of Health and Human Services federally. And this national document, which is linked here on the bottom of the slide, and I'm sending you a copy of the slide deck so you can check out the National Physical Activity Plan, it has strategies, objectives, and tactics in 10 different societal sectors that are designed to improve physical activity in the country. And what we're doing here in Michigan is we're taking the National Physical Activity Plan, we're pulling it down to the state level, and we're prioritizing based upon the overarching needs of the state of Michigan, as well as some priorities that we have laid out as a coalition. From there, we're focusing on implementing the tactics at the community level. And then finally, we're focused on measurement and evaluation. So long story short, this is taking the national plan, pulling it down to the state level, prioritizing based on our unique needs here in the state, and then focusing on implementation followed by measurement and evaluation. Our executive committee has chosen these as our 6 overarching priorities. Certainly more on this when you become a part of the coalition, but we're very focused on implementable outcomes, prioritizing proper policy development, evaluation and accountability, health parity, collaboration and partnerships, and then importantly, sustainable impact. Now, the engine that drives all of this is our sector committees. And this is really what we're here to talk about right now. The way we approach physical activity planning is on a whole of society approach. And we break society into 10 different societal sectors. You see these societal sectors on the screen. You certainly fit into one of these societal sectors. And our focus here is developing committees in each sector to develop sector-specific strategies and tactics, and then work between sectors to break down silos to ensure we meet that priority of collaborating together. So the sector committees are comprised of leaders in each of the 10 societal sectors, which you certainly are one, and you will provide strategic contribution. So that means you'll help with setting sector-specific goals, objectives, and timelines. You'll help us prioritize the strategy based on what the state needs, and you'll use those national guidelines as a framework. Now, the great thing about being a member of a MAP sector committee is you don't have to have any knowledge of public health. All you need is knowledge of your societal sector, of which you're an expert in, and then your ability to apply that knowledge to the framework of the national plan. If we were developing this from scratch, not only would we need to have people who were experts in each societal sector, but they would also have to be experts in public health, physical activity planning. That's not what we need here. We already have a strong template in the national plan, and we're just focusing on individualizing it to the state of Michigan and to local communities in the state. And that's what you can help us do. Certainly, there's a role of partnership and collaboration, which is helping us to build the coalition, as well as to foster collaboration throughout your organization and other organizations in the state. And then being involved in activation. That could mean advocacy, that could be involved in other promotions or supporting the efforts that we're doing. But really, what we're doing initially in this initial build out of the coalition's work is we are focusing on prioritizing sector specific strategies and tactics to author the state level physical activity plan. And again, you do not need to be an expert in physical activity planning. You just need to know your sector. With that said, what we're looking for, the specific ask here, is passionate advocates for physical activity within any Michigan-based organization. The time commitment is 2 to 3 hours per month. We do a monthly hour-long virtual sector committee meeting, and then there's probably about 1 to 2 hours of pre and post-meeting work that needs to be done. So truly, this is only about a 3-hour time commitment at maximum. And you really have the opportunity to influence policy and systems to increase physical activity in the state, while also elevating your organization's role in keeping Michigan healthy. So with that said, we really hope you join the movement as a part of one of our sector committees. If you have any other questions, please just reply to this email. More than happy to answer any of those questions or meet if needed. But I really encourage you to join our movement and become a part of a sector committee.